Thanks so much, Zanele, for making time for Fluence and for me today, so we can just get into the life of this amazing chef that you are. Thank you for sharing your tips and your do's and your don'ts in your life. We really do appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for the compliment.
I remember working with you on a McCain campaign. Can you remember? It was last year during lockdown.
Yes, I remember.
That was absolute fun. So when Lisa asked me to do this, I was like, of course. So Zanele, can we start with how your journey started as a chef? You know, what made you get into it? What inspired you? What made you tick?
I always say my story is now boring because I've been telling it over and over again. Okay, this is how it started. My husband really loves cooking, and he used to cook a lot for me. He used to cook those beautiful restaurant look-alike food. That was before we got married, of course. And he stopped. So I saw the challenge, and he really inspired me to want to learn more in the kitchen so I can just challenge him as well, you know. So I fell in love with the kitchen because he introduced these beautiful dishes to me. And the only place I saw those beautiful dishes, it was only at the restaurant. So yeah.
That's quite a story. I didn't know the story, so thanks for sharing it. It's normally the other way around. We normally inspire the husbands, but he inspired you. So is he still cooking, Zanele, or is it just left it up to you?
He's stopped completely.
Because you outdid it, I'm sure. I'm sure you outdid it.
I hope so.
So, Zanele, we know in the world of social media and where we currently are, even with the current status of COVID, social media, what has it done for you as your brand and as a chef?
Okay. You know, I always say, even before COVID and all, I always say my business boomed because of social media, because that's where I actually started. I started on Facebook. I created a page, Cooking with Zanele, before I was even qualified. I'll share my recipes that I try at home and post and all. And then I was like, actually, this is working. Now I want to go to a culinary school. So social media is just, I will say social media really made Cooking with Zanele.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, apparently Facebook is still the bigger platform for food. Do you agree?
It is.
Okay, fantastic. So food influencing, a foodie, a chef is becoming such a full-time job for many of us. How do you start by being a food influencer? Can you give us some tips for those watching and listening?
I'll say, because normally the brands come to me. If you want to be a food influencer, you have to make your page appealing. You have to make sure what you post there is not actually intimidating as well, because people want to try your food and say it must look like yours, because if it looks like it's a magazine food, everyone will be intimidated to even try it. Make sure that your food is relatable, it's also appealing, it looks nice, it's clean, well presented, and all the colors are there, and yeah.
Oh, what's the brand you work with? 5 colors. What is it? 7 colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 colors. I remember that, yes. So when you're creating content for food, what tools do you need to create the perfect picture? I know you said the colors, so that's one thing. What else? What other tips do you have for us?
Okay, first is the color, is the texture. It's how you position your food when you take a photo, especially. Normally, I'll take my photos from the top to make it look, normally it looks cleaner. It's not messy, because when you come from the side, you can't really see much. But when you come from the top, and you must always make sure that you get a beautiful background to put your food on it. So to make it, normally it must be just not so busy, because you want your food to stand out. You don't want your background to be too colorful, and then the food is also colorful, then it's too busy. You just want your food to come out. So I'll always say, if you want your food to look nice, always photograph from the top.
And of course, the lighting, I'm sure the light needs to be right.
The light, yes. Make sure also, yes, you use the natural light, because if you use a flash, it tends to change the color and it looks, wrong. It looks like it's,
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for those tips. So what is your take on the foodie influencer industry? Do you think it's an industry that will last? And will more food brands invest in influencer marketing? What is your take on it? What have you seen? I mean, obviously, you've been doing this for so many years.
You know, Jo, our food, it has become a lifestyle. Everyone wants to eat beautiful food. Everyone wants to eat healthy. Everyone wants to try this, to try that. Food will never go away. It will grow instead. It will never go away. So the food influencing will just stay there. It just started not so long ago, but I see it growing instead.
Oh, fantastic. Hopefully we get some more influencers on the journey now. So you try a new recipe and it does not turn out good. What do you do with it? Or is there any recipe that you try that doesn't turn out good? I actually don't believe that.
Always. That is why I focus the most in savory. Baking is not really my thing, because baking is science its own. And if you get it wrong, you can't even fix it. The nice thing about savory, you can always, if you added a lot of salt, you can always adjust it with sugar or your sweet chili sauce or anything. So savory is always easy to fix, but baking, you cannot. You get one ingredient wrong, it's gone. So I always try recipes and they don't work, and then I try again until they work. So it's always,
I feel the same, Zanele. I can't bake. I've tried it. I've failed dismally because it's too precise for me. And I like to experiment with food. I don't like, you have to add 20 ml of this and you have to, I can't. It doesn't sit right with my brain. I want to taste and I want to add, I want to taste and I want to add, and I want to taste.
Exactly. You want to explore.
Exactly. It makes it fun, isn't it?
With baking, you can't.
Exactly. Where do you source your inspiration from? Where does your creativity come from for your food content on Instagram?
Somebody asked me the same question a few days ago. And I always say, I inspire myself for better. I always challenge myself to do better. I always, every time I go to bed, I think, what did Zanele do today to improve her brand? What did Zanele do to make sure she is staying relevant? I always go back and search what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. So I always make sure every day, maybe especially at the end of the week, I say, what did I do today? Who approached me? Who did I approach? What did I do to make sure Cooking with Zanele is growing? So I always inspire myself for better.
Oh, that's amazing. So you always assess yourself, assess where you're at, assess where you're going, and see how you can grow. That's phenomenal. So do you have any advice to somebody that wants to be in the food industry as a chef or as a foodie influencer? What advice would you give?
Firstly, be true to yourself. That's the most important recipe. If you know what you want, you know where you're going. So you must always be true to yourself. Don't try to be Jamie Oliver. Jamie Oliver is already out there. We know him. We want you. People will follow you because you are you. People don't want to follow another Jamie Oliver. They want Cooking with Zanele. They want Jamie Oliver. I'm not saying I'm at the level of Jamie Oliver. I'm just making an example because
you've arrived.
I'm just mentioning him because I know he might not see this. So yes. I'm saying just be true to yourself, be authentic, just be you. Just do what you want. Just be yourself and it will definitely work. And it starts with liking, and you start with what you have. You don't want to go outsource things and then it doesn't work. Start with what you have first, to see if you love what you're doing or to see if it will even work. Then you start with what you have.
Authenticity is so important, and in every single
it's the name of the game.
It's the name of it's every single industry. I see it. You know, because how long can you keep it up if you pretend to be somebody else, isn't it? And also, I think it will show in your food, it will show in your content, it will eventually show. So it's so true. I love it. I love it. So you've been working with such big brands, such amazing brands like McCain, etc. Remuneration. I don't know why I need to ask you this question, but how do you get paid as an influencer? With cash, obviously, isn't it?
Yes.
Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Well, it's cash. But you know what is more rewarding? It's to see the brand happy with the work you give. That is more rewarding, that, oh, actually, I'm doing the right thing. When you see that you work with this brand and then the other brand keeps asking, and then the other asks, then that is more rewarding, more than getting paid with money, is to keep getting more brands wants to use you.
Exactly. So it's all about what you create for the brand, how you create it, and that way you get more work and more out of it, isn't it? So where did you study? Where did you go study to become a chef?
The culinary. I went to Capsicum.
Okay, you went to Capsicum. Fantastic.
Yes.
I also went to Capsicum.
Oh, really?
Yes. I studied in Cape Town, yes, because I had a restaurant. And that inspired me to become a chef, because I needed to know what they were talking about, and nobody could.
The means and pluses, yes.
So I needed to know the business from A to Z. So that is what inspired me to become a chef. And if there's anyone out there that wants to become a foodie influencer, would you say that they need the qualification to become a foodie influencer?
Well, you know, the thing is, anyone can cook, anyone can follow the recipe, anyone. So it is really a personal choice if you want to go sharpen your skills and know more, know the food language and know this and that. But I still say I learned a lot when I did my industry work, because I think that's where you actually learn a lot. So I think 50-50. You can go study, you can use your general knowledge, or it's up to an individual. But for those who want to take it serious, definitely go to a culinary school. You won't even regret it. It is worth every cent. You learn a lot.
Thank you so much, Zanele, and have a beautiful day.
Oh, my pleasure. You too. Thank you for having me. Bye.